Good morning and welcome to On the Spot News right here on Zimbabwe Daily. My name is Yvonne Muchaka. Let us take a look at the news making the headlines. No joy in Mthuli Ncube budget. Billing in Forex not enough to save ZESA. Australia police to probe Mnangagwa rape claims. ZESA speaks on power outages in some parts of Chitungwiza. South Africa's Home Affairs faces another lawsuit over termination of ZEP. Over 2.5 million unemployed youth, cause for concern. Econet gives away residential stands to promote winners. And in sports, Dimbare in last-minute shopping. And now for the news in detail. Calls by Zimbabwe's restive civil servants for United States dollars salaries went unheeded by Finance Minister Mthuli Ncube yesterday. Ncube doubled the national budget to $1.9 trillion as a result of rising inflation and a weakening local currency. Presenting his 2022 mid-term review and supplementary budget speech in Parliament, Ncube pegged expenditure projections for the year at 1.9 trillion, with additional spending of $929 billion from $968.3 billion originally. There was nothing to celebrate for the working public, with Ncube doubling the tax-free threshold to $600,000 per year or $50,000 per month from August 1, despite inflation hitting 191.60% in June. Tax bands now end at $12 million from $6 million per annum, after which tax will be charged at 40%. He also raised the Zim dollar tax-free bonus threshold to 500,000 from 100,000. In the case of corporates, he proposed to review the maximum tax payable per transaction from the current 1.320 million to 3.3 million on transactions with values exceeding $165 million. Platinum miners face more pain after government raised royalties to 5% from January next year, while lithium producers will also pay a similar rate. The platinum miners are currently paying 2.5% in royalties. In comparison, gold miners pay royalties of up to 5%. The minister said mines were contributing just 1.2% of gross domestic product in direct taxes, which he claimed was lower than the regional average of 2%. Ncube also proposed to shut down businesses that owe the taxman but are avoiding having their accounts garnished by simply moving their money to other accounts until they settle their obligations. As at June 30, 2022, the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority was owed 23 billion dollars in unpaid taxes. ZESA Holdings will still be unable to provide enough electricity to consumers and meet its operational obligation despite the government taking measures to improve its capacity by allowing the power utility to charge exporters and partial exporters in hard currency. A senior government official has said Zimbabwe is facing acute shortage of electricity due to limited generation capacity and aging equipment. Limited water in the country's biggest power hydro plant, Kariba South, due to droughts in previous years, have also compounded the situation. In order to balance demand and supply, ZESA resorts to widespread load shedding, which results in outages that stretch for several hours or even days, negatively impacting economic and household activities. Some consumers are forced to use alternative sources of energy, such as diesel, but these are prohibitively expensive. Analysts say critical shortage of electricity does not augur well for the country's targets, especially building a 12 billion United States dollar mining industry by 2023 and the national vision of transforming the country into an upper middle income economy by 2030. In terms of statutory instrument 131 of 2022, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe gave ZESA exchange control approval to bill exporters and partial exporters in foreign currency as part of broad measures to enhance the utilities' operational capacity. Meanwhile, Eskom Holdings SOC Limited, the South African state-owned power utility, is looking to replace Zimbabwe as an importer of electricity from Mozambique and Zimbabwe to ease rolling blackouts. Zimbabwe's contracts with Mozambique's Electricidade de Mozambique and Zambia's ZESCO are set to expire at the end of the month, according to Sydney Gata, the chairman of the country's ZESA Holdings Limited. Zimbabwe is failing to pay the 6.3 million monthly import bill to Zambia, he said. Eskom is now putting pressure on the Mozambique and Zambian utilities to take over the contracts. University of Zimbabwe has hiked accommodation fees from 71,000 RTGs to 616 United States dollars, or the equivalent in local currency for the August to December semester. Accommodation fees for the semester that ended on July 2022 were equivalent to 350 US dollars. In a notice sent by Zimbabwe Daily, UZ acting registrar Mnyaradzi Madambi advised students that the payment is due on July 31. Australian police on Tuesday said they would work with international bodies to investigate rape allegations against Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa, 79, was accused of sexual assault by a now 33-year-old woman dating back to 2004 when she was a 15-year-old Form 3 pupil at Loreto High School in Slobela. Susan Mutami, a health services professional, walked into a police station in Brisbane on Monday and filed sexual abuse charges against the ZANU-PF leader. We can name her after she went public with the allegations on Twitter. Matt Adams, a spokesperson with the Queensland Police Service, declined to discuss details of Mutami's complaint filed at Mount Omni Police Station 3 days after she went public with the rape allegations. Zimbabwe could face serious economic and societal challenges if a solution is not found for young people that are not in employment, education, or training, experts have warned. Findings from the 2022 first quarter labor force survey, released this week by the Zimbabwe National Statistical Agency ZimStat, revealed that Zimbabwe has more than 2.5 million people between the ages of 15 and 34 who are not in employment, education, or training. Of these, 1.5 million are aged between 15 and 24. The Zimstat report revealed that youth between the age of 15 and 24 had a national expanded unemployment rate of 66%, while the national expanded unemployment rate for youth aged between 15 to 34 was 57%. Econet Wireless has given away 8 residential stands and 8 2 kilovolt solar systems to the lucky winners of its Christmas promotion, which started in December last year and ended in March this year. The 16 winners of the Ikisimusi Sifikile Kisimusi Yatoshika Christmas promotion received their prizes at a colorful ceremony in Harare last week. Earlier on, hundreds of other winners also benefited from their participation in the 80 million Zim dollar promotion, with some walking with television sets, smartphones, laptops, and 4 plate gas stoves, among other prizes that would be given away at fortnightly draws. Econet Chief Operating Officer Kezito Makuni paid tribute to the listed company's customers for their loyalty to the firm over the last 24 years. In other news, Mtwakazi Republic Party MRP has rejected preliminary 2022 population census results released by the Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency ZimStat and said it will soon conduct its own census in southern Zimbabwe. According to the ZimStat report, Zimbabwe's population grew by 16.2% from 13 million in 2012 to 15 million in 2022, with an annual growth rate of 1.5%. Bulawayo Metropolitan Province's population grew by just 12,603 people in the past 10 years. It was 653,337 in 2012 and now stands at 665,940. MRP President Kondisi Moyo alleged that the census results released by Zimstat are extremely flawed. And we take a look at our sports news. Dynamos are assessing former youth international striker Remington Masuku as they look to bolster their attack, which has proved to be the team's Achilles heel in its pursuit of the league title. The 25-year-old former under 17 and under 20 international began training with the Royal Giants on Wednesday, and with the transfer window closing at midnight on Sunday, he has 2 more days to impress the coaches. Coach Tondrain Dirai confirmed yesterday that Masuku, who has been plying his trade in Botswana in recent years, is training with the team with the hope of joining it. This was the news in detail. Now we take a look at the headlines once again. And the Department of Home Affairs is facing another lawsuit relating to the looming termination of the Zimbabwean exemption permit, ZEP. The ZEP is a special dispensation permit established more than 10 years ago that gives legal protection to an estimated 178,000 Zimbabwean nationals to live, work, and study in South Africa. However, the cabinet decided in January that the arrangement must be terminated by December and that applicants should apply for a visa to remain in South Africa based on a list of critical skills needed in the country. In June, the Helen Suzman Foundation said it would be taking the government to court for discontinuing the permits. It said termination would turn ZEP holders in South Africa into undocumented migrants and force them to return to Zimbabwe if they did not meet the strict conditions of one of the visa categories on offer. The foundation said they would face similar conditions to what had led them to flee. Now, another organization, the Zimbabwean Immigration Federation, is also holding the department to court. In its papers, the organization cited the Department of Home Affairs, President Cyril Ramaphosa, the South African Police Service, the South African National Defence Force, and the Border Management Authority. The application filed at the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria was aimed at interdicting government departments from arresting or deporting ZAP holders once their permits expired at the end of the year. The organization also wanted ZAP holders to be able to leave or enter the country legally if their other travel document was in order. In the second part of its application, the ZIF wanted Home Affairs to review the decision not to extend the ZAP. The organization also wanted the department to restart the review process for permits and, in the meantime, allow ZAP holders to remain in the country. Yeah, so that was the news from the region. And now for the news headlines: no joy in Mtoli budget. Billing in Forex not enough to save Zesa. Australia police to probe Nangagwa rape claims. Zesa speaks on power outages. South Africa's Home Affairs face another lawsuit over termination of ZEP. Over 2.5 million unemployed youth cause for concern. Econet gives away residential stands to promotion winners, and Dimbare in last minute shopping. Those were the news headlines. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of day.